Welcome to the podcast. We have introduce yourselves, please.
Patricia.
Mugisha.
Oswan.
Allena.
And I'm the moderator. So today's topic is social media feminism.
Man, we're still on friends.
And are feminists bad or are they good?
This man just doesn't want us to have friends in the morning.
Start with Patricia.
I think
what does feminism mean?
Okay, for me, like, feminism is basically trying to have some level of equal treatment. Well, that is very ambiguous. But I mean, if it's good for the goose, it must be good for the gander. Like, if you're going to pay someone 10M, you know, whatever job it is, don't pay someone less. Or if we have access to like land ownership and all that the rest of that, for me it's like on a basic level. Like when it comes to access to whether it's government services or access to like owning land and stuff like that, like for me the bare minimum is if I say I want to inherit cows which my dad has left behind, or if I want to inherit property that my mom has left behind, I don't like, for me the ideal situation would be I would at least be given a shot to own these cows.
Fair enough. Chihugu. Sorry, Mugisha.
Yes.
You are a self-confessed feminist. What does it mean to
Feminism, I look at it as equality of opportunity. Like the opportunities that default that, you know, I have access to by virtue of being a guy, a woman can also have the same opportunities. Where I would diverge from most people's views on feminism is I strongly believe that equality of opportunity, if done correctly, does not result into equality of outcome.
True.
So if we both have the opportunity to be star football players, you know, but my league is pulling in $8.2 billion.
I didn't put a pause on that. Let's first.
Okay.
Yes. What does feminism mean to you, Oswan?
First of all, I am a feminist. I like to describe myself outside.
Saying the hyena to the sheep.
And the feminism that I subscribe to is the feminism of equal rights and equal opportunity. That Allena and I should really enjoy the same rights and responsibilities. And I think that is the feminism. If that is what you call feminism, then 100% I'm a feminist. Through and through, I live for it and I walk it.
I see.
A woman, I wish that everybody will not be treated differently, will not be discriminated because of their sex. I think that whatever a man can be given a chance to do, a woman should be able to get a chance to do.
I see.
Yeah.
Allena, what is your definition?
My definition of feminism, I agree with everyone. I concur with everyone. But then to me, more to it, I add like choice. Like feminism to me means choice. Because we all know feminism is all about equal opportunities, equal rights. That is true. Even though I get equal rights, equal opportunities, but then it's more than that sometimes. It's all about choice. My choice being respected. For example, if for example, okay, let's say feminism has this kind of politics. So you're going to find that feminists have different views about how they look at life. You're going to find the radicals, you're going to find the choice feminists, you're going to find other kinds of the black feminists, you're going to find the lesbian feminists, and then you're going to find the feminists who are against homosexuality. Like, there are all kinds of feminists. You get what I'm saying? But to me, I feel like I believe in inclusion of everyone. So I believe choice feminism. I believe in just having people having choice.
Choice feminism.
And then rights and equal opportunities.
I see. I stopped in, and you wonder why I stopped in and I didn't stop her.
Mugisha.
Mugisha.
Decolonize you when you're thinking, brother.
I stopped Mugisha and I didn't stop her because there's a term that I was recently made aware of called mansplaining.
And you believe this was
I'm going into the details.
Okay, but then, let me rephrase my statement. It is to the benefit of everyone and society as a whole if we can unlock the potential that each individual possesses.
True.
All right. So I would be a feminist because on a very pragmatic level, I'm being selfish. There could be something that a woman knows or can do that I cannot know or do. because we have differences that are meant to be complementary. So I would want you to express yourself and use your talents because they are of benefit to me.
True.
All right? And I would also like to think that the reverse holds true for you. That there are talents I have that you don't have, all right? That would be of benefit to you, all right? So equal opportunities would accrue to everyone. I believe in all that. Equal opportunities, equal responsibilities, equal rights, all right? Part where I would put a stop onto it is I also understand that the human condition is complicated. Being human is a hard job.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job. Carl Jung and the integration of the shadow, there's the different texts you can read that will show you that being human is actually, it's not as clear-cut, black and white. And because of this, and because we're social animals, meaning we're supposed to lock ourselves into communities to feel whole, there are certain roles we must accept, regardless of what we want. Those roles must be there. Like, I'm very sure that most men I know are not comfortable with working 20 out of 24 hours a day to provide for a kid that is going to bring back F9 in music and cut school to do exam. If you told any guy, if you have a choice really and it wouldn't affect anyone, pay school fees for that kid or go to the bar with your buddies. The guys will be like, this kid also seems. So, but because I have to be a responsible father and blah, 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 I'm like, you know what, fine, let me pay for that kid. So there are certain choices that we have to make that negate the occurrence of free will. Hold on, and choice. However, I also believe that you can choose to ignore these choices and you can choose to reclaim your free will in full. But there is a price that will be paid at a societal level.
Okay, I want to stop you somewhere. When I say that respecting people's choices, like even women's choices, I don't necessarily mean every choice. I mean choices that are based on my political consciousness. Like, I know, I look at my choices and I understand the politics of whatever choice I am making. I am ready for every repercussion of it. For example, you cannot predetermine for me my roles before I am born. I have to wake up one day and I'm like, you know what, Allena, I want to be Allena. I talk to myself and I'm like, I want to be a single mother. I'm not a mean pattern. I want to be a mother, a wife, and that's all. And I need a man who is going to respect that, who's going to decide that he wants to also doesn't want to be a stay-home father. He wants to be a man who goes out, works, and provides, brings money. Wait a minute. Brings money onto the table. You get? It's my choice. And I'm well aware of the politics in my choices. And I am well aware of what will go astray. No one has predetermined for me my choice. This is a choice I have made. All I can wake up one day, I'm a woman, I'm like, you know what? I want to be a career woman. You know what? I want to be a woman who doesn't care about me. Like, for example, I don't care about marriage. You cannot predetermine for me my role and you're like, you know what? No, as women, we're brought up in a society where our roles are predetermined for ourselves. That's why you see most women strive to have marriage, like as a pride. But then, as long as you know the politics of your choice, you're well aware of the repercussion, and you're well aware of whether you're going to receive happiness from it or you know.
Allena,
and then you make your choice based on what you want.
Let's compare the two choices, for example. I'm just saying, the two choices of these women. One is striving to be a career woman, and one is striving to be a stay-home mom. Who do you think, if both execute like their plans, who do you think has it easier? And all factors kept constant, everything plays out the way they want it. Who do you think has it
What
easier?
factors do you think should be constant?
A career woman, what would you want if
The ideal career woman?
the ideal career woman, yes, and the ideal trophy
What
wife.
I would want?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a trophy wife.
No, as a career woman.
As a career woman, what would you want?
What
And
would
as
you
a
want?
trophy
Like,
wife,
what
what
would you
want?
say? You look back on your career and say, yeah, okay, do you have any woman?
What is your, when you think of career woman, what is your image?
Yeah.
that
My
comes to mind?
image,
Yeah.
a woman who's ambitious, who cares about career, making it in life, making money, living comfortable, independent.
Exactly. And we are saying, even
And that's
even
where happiness is coming from.
Exactly.
But why do people think that because she's a career woman, she's single, she's very unhappy?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what we have removed that. We are saying she's also happy. That's both. But I said, who has it easier? Because at the end of the day,
You
certain
can't
things
say I
are
have it
everyone.
easier.
No.
I can't say I I have it easier than Oswan. Or for example, if I am the stay-home wife and she is the career woman, I can't say she has it easier. I can't say I have it easier because I'm not in her shoes to determine.
No. You see, every one of us here, we are working so that what? We retire. You understand? The one who retires earliest
has won.
According to capitalism,
has won.
Because
that's why I don't have the capitalist mindset.
The rules
I don't prescribe to that.
But being a career woman is by default you're playing capitalism.
Let me tell you by that. When I am working hard to be a career woman, I'm not striving to achieve the capitalist views. I'm trying to achieve happiness.
You are in a capitalist.
But career is capitalistic. Capitalism is a career.
Define capitalism. I don't care. What I'm saying, it's all about me, my happiness. It's not about capitalism. It's not about social. It falls under. I just don't care. What I'm looking at is my ecstasy.
Can I
my happiness.
Can I give an example?
So if Patricia wants to be a stay-home woman, and that's where she's deriving her happiness, good for her. Yeah, if it's me being a career woman,
from which angle are you going to make that decision? Because if it's like a question of if you're looking at it from a personal point of view, do you feel as a trophy wife you would have it easier versus if you were a career woman, or it's from a point of view of looking from the top bottom, it's like versus society. Is it feminism versus society? Like in your analysis, do you think it would be easier? Which would be easier, like to be a career woman or a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah. In all
like if you divorce yourself from making, like just looking at it.
I can't say, but if I'm looking for myself personally, Allena, that would be, to me, based on the society I come from, I would be safer when I'm a career woman.
Fair enough, that's okay.
That is very good. But Allena, I wanted us to establish some basics. You drove us into the abstract of, you can't measure happiness. But there are some basics. There are some basics, Allena.
When you wake up, you
don't feel I'm going according to my plan.
Yeah, let me tell you why. There are some basics. I have friends who wake up and do very, very hard job. You understand? You have to be in the field selling. Then I have other friends who have manager position. No, I'm telling you.
Because you're the only one
manager
position.
Manager
no one
position.
should tell you what you're supposed to do. It is you.
Here we are comparing two scenarios that we can look at in the entirety. A woman who is provided for. You understand? She's at home. She's provided for everything she wants, food, everything. The cars are there in the compound. She has a very nice home. They have even a country home. You understand? The old aristocratic way of living.
She can even she can even eat the houseboy. I threw them out.
And also the career woman, say like Winnie Byanyima, because every time I discuss career women, there are like 3 examples. Winnie Byanyima, Navio's mom.
Can I make a point on this? So when we're just starting running my things, one of the teams we had was Indian, and it was headed by a woman. She was a babe, actually, not a woman. She was a babe. She was roughly our age. So I'm not going to delve into figures because I don't want people to know how poor or rich I am. For the record, I am not rich. But
no one accused you.
but what happened is, so we hire this woman, all right, and we agree on a salary for her. And she does the first phase of the work at that salary. And then after she calls me one evening, she was in India, she's like, the salary is not enough. Now remember, I'm in Uganda, earning in Uganda shillings, but I'm converting it to dollars to pay her a rate that she's comfortable with. Like, the salary is not enough. I ask her, why isn't it enough? She tells me, because I'm about to get married, and in India, it's the woman that pays dowry. So I'm about to get married, I have to think about my dowry. If you don't increase my pay, I have to leave the job. And I'm like, you know what? So we got more investors on board. I upped her salary because I really liked the work she did for me at the time. And then after she calls me again, she's like, this salary is not enough. I'm like, why isn't it enough? She's like, well, now that we're done with the dowry, I still have to buy my ring. And also, most importantly, I'm now going to have children. I have to start thinking about these children. I have to start, which schools they're going to. I have this vision in my head of what they're going to do. So at this point, I have a conversation with her. I'm like, I feel like part of this conversation should be with your husband, not with me. You're a contractor, I am the person that has contracted you. For you to tell me your personal problems to increase your salary, it does not seem. Then one evening, her husband calls me. I was like, hi, how you doing? Hi. We talk. He's like, I feel you're exploiting my wife. I'm like, oh, is that so? He's like, yes. How would you like me to resolve this contradiction? Just to humor him. The guy says, well, my wife should ideally be working for $10,000 a month. And the point I'm putting across is, there is a version of careerism, yes, that most people have in their head, both men and women. This is not unique to women, but both men and women, where they have a certain number they need to meet for them to be happy and competent in their careers and perform to the level they wish to perform. And in my 3-4 year history employing people, I've seen this happen numerous times. But the problem is the way capitalism is set up. So when people come around and say, oh, I'll be happy in a career, all right? Because again, let me not paint her out to be all bad. She was there for some of the rougher bits where you don't have money and salaries are delayed and she's working long hours. No. I'm speaking from a capitalistic point of view. All right? So when you give an example of Winnie Byanyima or Maggie Chigozi, all right, those are women that have hit that number. Capitalistically speaking, they have hit that number. When Winnie Byanyima comes and tells you as head of Oxfam, this is what, women should strive to be a career woman, they don't tell you that there is going to be a part where you're going to go for 4 months without salary.
Why is everyone aiming for what they can't achieve?
Because again, this is what I'm saying.
When I choose to be a career woman personally, I'm not me personally. I reach out to Winnie Byanyima personally. I'm speaking about
what does it mean to you?
But
yes, that is what I'm saying. So career, you need to be very clear in when you say I'll be a happy career woman. Do you have that number in your head? Where does that number lie? What are the conditions you're working on? Because right now, the different perks I give.
To me, being career woman is not
we are going to enter the definition. Defining career, because I've noticed both of you are kings and queens of the abstract. Allena, the question, it was a leading question. It was supposed to lead to another question. When you speak to any random person about feminism, first of all, the main how can I put it? Fingerprints all over social media, isn't it? Like the stereotypical. How are you? No, the Ugandan feminism movement.
Okay, it's like that.
It's social. That's why the presence is.
But you see, there's a feminism that started with Miriam Makeba those days.
Of course, but I'm saying that's why I said currently, if you find a youth and you meet a guy at the bar and you mention the word feminists.
He thinks of the
exactly. The first thing that will go to his head are
social media.
Social media.
That is all on those people.
I think that the one on social media is a man-hating movement. It's very different.
No!
And I cannot
please, I'm an active person on social media when it comes to activism.
I'm bringing a question. I didn't finish my question.
I am not a man-hating person.
We are going to what? To discuss a few of the things on that online social media, because you are part of that movement also.
Let me tell you one thing about social media. Social media is for very different people. You're going to find Nazis. You're going to find
let's keep it.
But there's a popular
yes.
One of the most popular phrases among Twitter
very many people
is men are trash. That is a movement that I dislike.
Okay, let's call them what they are. Twitter feminists.
Okay,
let's just call them what they are.
Okay,
Twitter feminists are saying.
Also, I don't want to put them in a general group because even among them, they are somehow.
There are
people who are actually pursuing equal rights and equal opportunity.
Okay,
and for those ones I started,
do you pursue the men are trash?
Me? I actually changed my mindset on it because why? Because to me the men are trash was usually a slogan for checking, you people checking on yourselves.
I vehemently despise
you get that? The check what are they called? You check on yourself, your habits. But then it was taken over by
I think that men are
trash. But a certain wave of girls were just
it is a bunch of hateful reasons.
To me, I am contradicted. I want it because it's self-check mechanism, like or something like a slogan, and sometimes
what I'm saying, that is self-pity. It's a form of self-pity. For you to say that, I'm sure there are creative ways. If you really put in your time,
by the way,
there are creative ways.
But
for you to say, let me just generalize,
no, because I think
themselves.
Yeah, it is bullshit.
It's lazy.
It is like saying, imagine hashtag Muslims are terrorists.
Banyakuri are thieves.
Okay, yeah.
Somebody will give it.
Very
Because someone will
terrible.
come and say, he'll give examples of thieves who are Banyakuri.
Yeah.
Or terrorists who are Muslims.
Muslims.
And it will look bad. But in reality, the Muslim terrorists are less than 1% of the Muslim population. And what you're really doing is causing people to hate all Muslims.
That's why I realized it was
So in the
wrong.
same way, there are men who have done terrible things
Yeah.
to women. And it is you can give 1,001 reasons why you think that. Why you can say men are
Also, Allena,
Given that I hate it when someone says, women are this. So literally, I'm like, okay, I damn the whole.
I think
That's
it's
right.
just rhetoric.
See, you get, because if I'm against stereotypes, gender stereotypes, let me just be against gender stereotypes for all.
exactly.
because that's just like blanket, just throwing blanket
cannot
responsibility on
condemn a group of
everyone,
people.
condemning
Yeah.
everyone.
Because of the actions of a few.
Okay, yeah.
But-
okay,
And especially
Also-
when its origins weren't exactly with us, in Uganda particular. It started somewhere else with
And
its
that's
own
another
With
thing.
its-
with its own story,
Of
with its
Of
own
Twitter
backstory.
feminism.
Good faith
Of
and
Twitter
everything.
feminism. It feels like there's a way information flows. It flows like America, Nigeria, then it filters into
Second hand, we
Rwanda.
are like third
Then
hand or fourth hand.
because I think it even passes South Africa.
No,
It
Then
passes South
Kenya.
Africa, then Kenya, then it
Let me
comes.
tell you one thing. Let me
Actually,
tell
even
you
Kenya
one thing.
first, then
The
Uganda.
thing is this.
You
So
also
I
say,
always ask one question to these people who move the men are trash movement.
Which
What-
people?
what-
Why are you fighting that?
He used to be one of them. He used to
Remove me. Remove me.
I always
I
ask them,
subconsciously used
what
to
do you
take
hope
it out.
because
No, but by the way, I actually realized that.
because it can seem harmless
Social-
initially, but it can be very dangerous. You see, I give an
Yeah, I
example
get
of
it.
the Rwanda genocide.
Mm.
It started with people going on radio
Cockroaches.
saying the
Yeah.
what?
Tutsi.
Tutsi are cockroaches.
Cockroaches.
Tutsi are cockroaches. And they had good reasons.
Yeah.
They would come and say, oh, the other day Tutsi man found me grazing my cows. He beat me up. He told me you're a fool, you're useless. Because you're Hutu. So that particular Tutsi was a terrible man.
Yes.
But when you declare Tutsi are cockroaches, you put hate in my mind for all Tutsis. And tomorrow when I hear that they're beating Tutsis, I will also go and join. Because every day I've had the rhetoric and I've begun to believe it. So that even when I see a Tutsi doing a very small bad thing, I say,
you
oh,
magnify.
it's what
Yes, you
it's what the other
magnify.
man was telling us.
Uh-huh.
These are very evil people.
I also
Exactly.
feel like it works both ways. Like it
Yeah.
can be very effective, but it can also be very
I think
But
it's
manipulative.
No,
the cons
Different
outweigh the pros.
Yeah.
The cons outweigh the pros.
Yeah. We can go through another way to do like self-check mechanism. Like we can go about it in a different way. Okay, when it started,
If you had put
it
a campaign
started
of-
with good faith.
If I put a campaign of say check your friends, you saw that it was I saw an ad, I think it was of Gillette. I found it a bit also
Yeah, where they were. Yeah.
it had also I had some comments about it, but at least I saw that was the guy was catcalling a babe, then the guy stops him. You understand? Like no, don't do such a campaign. But for you alienating everyone in the hope that the good will isolate the bad.
Exactly. If I'm a Muslim, I
Everyone
find
will
guys
be
saying
defensive.
Muslims are terrorists.
It's the
I find you saying
message.
Muslims are terrorists. It will not make
I'll
me-
first jump
it will
on
not
the
make me a better
defensive.
person. It will
But
not make me
I
check
also feel
myself.
like
I agree.
we are.
I'll say you have prejudged me.
we are like when you okay, there is making those who already like they already do that, making them bolder because they're like, okay, cry on Twitter if you want, who is going to come check me? And then there's those who just get annoyed and they're like, okay, you know what, we are now annoyed. And then there are those who probably did not even subscribe to that, who just get like, you know what, now I wasn't going to do it, but let me just do it because you have put me already in this box anyway. But then we also get this thing where you get people who are like, all right, fine, you can make all the noise, but what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen?
Patricia, let me
But
ask
then
you.
it does happen.
If
Something does
Patricia,
happen if you make
you
it.
have like let's say you, the Lamarcas, have a family you're taking care of. Let's say you have an uncle, a deadbeat uncle who has like who mistreats his family. So like the kids can come, like you help them with food, help them with school. You understand, eh? But then something happens and they are bashing your family, and you hear even like the kids that you've been helping saying, those lab workers, you understand, all of them are bad, you understand. Say your father is accused of something, and those relatives that you helped, you hear even like the kids who have been coming, say for example, and staying in your rooms during holidays, eating the same food as you, bashing them. That softness, you'll be like, after all.
Let's say for instance, I'm a moderate Muslim who condemns the guys who say all non-Muslims should die, all kafirs deserve to die. I don't like it. But I find you saying all Muslims are terrorists. Or no, just saying Muslims are terrorists. I don't think I will help your movement because it will make me think, oh, she has prejudged me because I'm a Muslim. So why should I even help her movement?
Now I agree. I agree.
I think I
I need to clarify something. Social media, how you conceive something is all up to you.
Exactly, and that's why I have to ask.
I could say something sarcastically.
No.
Then for you,
No. Let's Let me tell you. If you want to be,
we shall ask with examples. Okay. We shall ask with examples.
I feel like you need to also collect your message and put it out really well, because if you are going to put out an ambiguous statement, of course you're going to get people who are going to check you. You don't just put information out there, because we're in an age where people.
No, for example, someone could be talking ill about feminism, and I'll be like, yeah, we are man eaters, we are witches, because I'm sarcastically replying to it like, yeah. You get what I'm saying? So now for you get a screenshot. You go, see, feminists have proclaimed this, and like, that is all that's it. The whole social media is just a lie. Like,
but if you know that it's like a wild west, why don't you try to take all that? Okay, of course there'll always be those ones who take you out of context, whatever you do. But you can always try to limit. Yes, you can always limit it. Because there are people who made, in these recent elections or whatever, there are people who made the spoof videos, those ones which were just to sort of, they were literally making fun of the whole Trump election and everything. And you know, people were raising all sorts of like backlash and noise about it. And yet, if someone did their due diligence to really even like just check like the profiles of these people, it would obviously, you know, the first thing you'd see, I'm a comedian, or, you know, I play with sarcasm, or, you know, something like that, just a little bit of due diligence. But the first thing that people do is run with that.
But then you can't expect, you can't expect people to do that self-check mechanism on social media.
But you've really brought about the concept of dead beats, and I want to ask everyone here. You say you're a woman, we hook up, you get pregnant. I tell you, I'm not ready for responsibility. But you insist. I tell you, can't we get rid of this child? I don't know if that's the term. Abort. Can't we abort?
Terminate the
pregnancy. Terminate the pregnancy.
This is another topic.
And you refuse. Then you go on to have the kid. But I told you, I wasn't ready. I pleaded with you.
Yeah.
So the child has come, and you're telling me, bring upkeep, bring this. You're hitting me up, coming to my workplace. Am I a deadbeat in this case?
You are. Okay, the
bitter truth
is the bitter truth is you know how there's voluntary assumption of risk. Like if you always, okay, we always roast girls and say, okay, but you entered his room. So someone will always roast you, but you you released your seed into the world. But you know, and then someone will say, okay, now she didn't want to she wanted to keep the kid out of whatever her, you know, view is on life, whether she's pro-life, whether she's pro-family.
Where is
to me, I feel
for me, it's depending on the situation. For me, it's case-by-case basis. I have no problem with terminating a pregnancy, because my biggest horror is to burden someone with my own creation, if I can say. It's like to force someone to take care of a kid which they had no part of creating in any way, shape or form. So for me, it would always be, if you can take care of a kid, go harm, produce 12 children, it's okay. But if you know you can't, why burden someone else? Why burden your family? Why, first of all, what, like you were saying, why go through the stress of hunting down someone? Not like, this shouldn't be taken in isolation with the fact that if a man so much as has a child, so much as has a family behind him, or there's a shadow of an idea that there's a family behind him. By whatever scenario, he is ideally given more money. You know, so for a man in society, there's actually a benefit to having someone behind you, for lack of a better word, because society itself will support a single woman because there's this idea of vulnerability, as opposed to a single man. Even if they know that this man is suffering, at least just give him a roof over his head. No, if you showed up to a workplace and you said, you know what, I have a dependent. Who is a dependent? My kid. You get your benefits. Even though you have your woman is there shouting at you, you know, from the reception, you get your benefits because the kid is there.
I hope your question has been answered. She's pro-choice.
Now me.
I wanted to know where she stands.
She wants to know your pro-choice.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Okay.
He has kept quiet for too long.
It appears to me that you people both believe that the right to choose whether or not to be a parent is exclusive to women. Because when you ask the question of, if I told you that I don't want the child, and you went ahead and produced it, and then condemned me for being a deadbeat after you produced it against my will, I don't, because the proposal here seems to be that for men, the moment you have sex, because you want a child.
Yeah.
You can refuse. As a man, you can refuse. But the
no
gatekeeper
right.
is the person whose body the baby is growing in.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I'm saying.
But I'm saying,
Now,
it's the person whose body the child is growing in has said, for me, I must bring this child to the world.
Yes.
And me, the other
Then
party,
you're the father.
hold on, who is supposed to have an equal responsibility to raise that child?
You're the father.
saying,
Both of
I
you
don't
are
want.
fathers.
So you're saying the choice on the life.
Let me tell you the funny thing. The funny thing about life is that, okay, scenarios I have had, you get it? Men, when they leave the child, you get, after the child has graduated, now good things are coming. That's when they come.
Okay, your point is that if the person did not want the kid,
Yeah.
it should be almost like a cut-off of the
Yes.
system.
Yes.
They shouldn't acknowledge.
Yes.
But
And
okay,
no.
the thing is, I would say, even if you do what, whether you want to jump off a cliff and say no, that's not your dad. At the end of the day, that is your dad. You know, you may not want his family to come and claim you or come and claim this or that, but at the end of the day, that is your family. Like, even if, okay, Kenny refused the baby.
Okay, what if he becomes
but you had that
what
baby.
if that baby becomes Hitler?
What do you mean?
What if he becomes a robber
Mass
or a
murderer.
killer or a mass
That's I think
murderer?
why are you using possibility to just
For you, what do you mean? For you, you're saying what if he becomes
the
a
thing is,
success?
at the end of the day,
We're both using possibility.
they always reach somewhere. We all reach somewhere. Where are you saying the audience is always full of only bumps and potholes?
no, but the
What
thing
if
is
you-
There's
that
always some
the thing
success
is,
in everyone's life.
I think we should
It may
also
not be as prominent as those prominent people's success, but there is always some success. That someone will say and like, I am proud of this one. I want to be acknowledged that I get back to this one. It's always there.
But you know the question of being a deadbeat, like, are we going to say it in this form where we want the biological sperm donor, air quotes, to be the one who fathers this kid, like tells him, you know, how to be around men or how to be a man or something like that, or it's because we think that when this person is not around, there is obviously a disconnect in the inability for, let's say, if you are the baby mama, to find someone else who can do the same and the child doesn't lack, or it's just the idea that the father should ideally be the one who does all the fathering.
You know, in life we look out for things like, okay, when we do things, we look out for the greatest good or something. Okay, so there is this thing of parents who get back to the child. Okay, it's a general thing. Okay, there are exceptions and whatnots. Every rule, there are always rules, but there are exceptions or whatnot. But there is a general rule that when I give back to my child, I'm going to love my child more than any other woman will love my child. Okay, but then there are instances where parents don't love their children. So the priority should first be given to me, the parent.
The biological parent.
To love my child. You get when you realize, for example, a relative, you say I'm mistreating my child, then you can petition to remove the child from, because the issue is looking out for the welfare of the child, because the child is the most important part.
Allena, you have still failed to answer me.
Because the thing is that
I'm answering
You
now.
diverted from
I'm
me.
but the whole point is that if you
Diverted
refuse
from
that child, like, of course society will call him a deadbeat.
Am I bad?
Is he
Am I
bad?
bad if you come looking for
I
me?
think-
Now you've had the child.
Okay,
I have had that child, like, is it?
And the man took a choice not to be involved.
Not to be involved.
You're telling
hypothetical. I mean, a hypocrite. Let's just say it depends circumstances. Okay, to me, I feel like you decided you go away.
But you're hunting me, telling me this is your child. Come look after them.
Because the thing is that when you're looking back to your point about choices, because if at the end of the day he as a person decides I don't want any
but remember,
part of
when you
this.
make a choice, it's not automatic that it's a good choice.
Yes, it's not. It doesn't have to be the best. But the whole point is, yes, you're willing to take over. But the thing is, if you take the opportunity to exercise your maternal rights and say, I'm going to keep this child, don't hunt him down.
True.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then they are not a baby. You asked me that I'm
Because
not a
what he said from the start, I did not.
Yes, I was clear.
Because you have taken a choice. The child whose father does not want.
He doesn't want.
You knew this long before the child was born.
And the thing is that from conception, like when you find out to the point of birth, you have had all that time, all those hormones, everything. You have had all the, antenatals and everything to really ask yourself, am I going to charter this path alone without this person? And during that time, he may have time to either change his mind or peep. But
let me talk about this when we are in a relationship. Okay, do you know what I'm saying? Circumstances. Okay, every case should be judged.
Okay, let me give you a
Wait, let
me give you the circumstances. There's a story someone told me of a woman who saw a guy. She told him, my God, I've never seen anyone as handsome as you are. For me, just do me one favor. Give me a child. I'll look after that child. You understand? The man is like, are you sure? She's like, yes, I am working. Just give me a child. Me, I want your genes. He was hesitant, but you tell your friends, I have this offer, and they what? Take it. Hey, what? That one has saved you, Ichi. You'll have your child, and you won't even have. So he's like, okay. So he agrees, impregnates the woman. But in the months before, she starts changing. He tells her, no. It's still early. We can terminate the pregnancy. I don't want to be. I know. Actually, now he changes. Like no, because he notices a change in attitude. It feels as if she wanted to use the child to get him into a relationship.
Women do that.
So he's like no. It's like no. You made me pregnant. You go impregnated people's daughters. Which he's like, but I was clear. You told me. It's like no. In the end, the man was being hunted down, being embarrassed. You're a deadbeat. So in those circumstances, is he a deadbeat?
No.
He's not a deadbeat.
Yeah.
I think that for any two people to both be equally responsible for the existence of a child, both must have been willing to bring the child.
Yeah, exactly.
You cannot trick me. I know a friend of mine who met a girl at a house party. They had drinks, and after the house party, they consumed each other. After consuming each other, they didn't see each other again for like 7 months. And after 7 months, he's called. Someone calls him and tells him, you're needed at this place, somebody's office. He gets there, finds a pregnant girl. They ask him, do you know this girl? He can't even remember the face because he had met her that same day at that house party. Now she was there pregnant. But they jog his memory and he remembers. Tell him this girl is pregnant and it's your child. The man is in total shock. He now has a new girlfriend. But he's in shock. But he has to have a child. But under those circumstances, do you think that it is fair if that man decides to walk away? Would you consider him a deadbeat, a terrible man?
No.
Because I think that for a man to be any party, male or female, to be held responsible for a child, they must have chosen. For me, I am pro-choice for both parties.
Yeah.
I think that just as the woman has the right to choose,
wouldn't be a deadbeat.
The man should have the right to choose also. And from the initial stage, from the day you liars, you agree that man, for me.
Because
on that day, you have an option of taking the 72 hours pill. You have so many options. So it is important that after we liars, I tell you that for me, If it's a child, I'm not interested, and you go and take contraceptives. Or you say, well, I don't need you. I want a child. I'll go and have my child all the time.
So let me ask. Wait a minute. Okay, so let me ask. Okay, I get that whole point. To me, it's not a deadbeat father. Okay, now I mean, it's not a deadbeat father. But then it becomes so complicated when you're like, I don't want to take part in everything, the pregnancy and all.
But I have a question. Where does the deadbeatness start from? Because so far what we have discussed, from what we have discussed, it's like the deadbeatness starts at whether you want the child or not. But for me, in my mind, it's like,
for me,
what are we putting in practice? Are you going to, like, that's why I asked, like,
about the people that I consider deadbeat
fathering
are those that have agreed with the girls. They agree with Allena that they let us have a child. I tell you, I know of such people also. There's a female person that I know, a friend of mine, who the guy pretended. She came and told him, hey man, I'm pregnant. The man celebrated. He threw a party. He said, yes, I've been waiting for this. He celebrated. He felt happiness. He told her, oh my God, you have made me the happiest man. And then when she was like 7 months pregnant, the man disappeared. She would text him, call him, and he was not speaking.
They want the baby. You get pregnant. 1 week after finding out the results, okay, let me say a month. They tell you to abort. And they say they don't want part of it. I remember that influenced you knew
to get pregnant.
Yes.
Do
you think it's okay?
No, that's
very technical.
Like if first go back and think about it and
it's
just
so
like,
weird because that's why I told you circumstances differ. Everything should be determined on its own merits because now as you have said, he has a right to say I don't want people to, but remember he influenced that shit. So do you think it's okay because it's like
no, those are the guys that
consider
yes. Why would you be there? Wow, you're pregnant. Wow, we're going to be there.